as our today's chief guest. Ms. Karima Kara leads the Cambridge University Press in Pakistan and is responsible for the strategic direction, growth, and performance of the press. She has 25 years of educational management experience. She received the Australian government's Endeavour Executive Award in 2009. It is an honor and privilege for me to welcome Ms. Karima Kara on behalf of Nurul Huda Education Private Limited. So, Ms. Karima Kara, please share some gracious thoughts of yours with us. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, please unmute your mic.
Thank you very much, and Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start my session, I'll just take care of the technology. I'll share my screen and my presentation.
Yes, Ms. Karima, you can share.
Yes, I'm trying to find my presentation. Hold on. Can you all see my screen now? Can you see my screen? Can someone confirm?
Yes, please. It is visible.
You can. Great. Excellent. So now we can start. So I'm very pleased to have been invited by Nurul Huda Foundation to be part of this International Teacher Leadership Summit. The summit started yesterday, and it's been a privilege to attend some extremely vibrant, stimulating, and thought-provoking sessions. As you know, we are going through a period of intense disruption from COVID for all of the society, not just education. And it presents opportunities for real change. But because of the need to act urgently, we are also at the risk of making decisions that are not properly underpinned by research and evidence. And this is something that we at Cambridge University Press and Cambridge Assessment are working very hard to support our learning community worldwide to deliver best teaching and learning practices. Some of you may be aware of the Global Education Summit 2021 that took place in London earlier this week. And what a pleasant coincidence that this Teacher Summit is taking place in Pakistan in the same week as global leaders met to discuss challenges facing education in a world recovering from COVID-19. I wanted to start by sharing with you some of the key headlines coming out of these discussions. Education systems need to be transformed, not tweaked. Bold actions and not more of the same. Putting the educational needs of learners first. Design and deliver education fit for all learners. Putting teachers at the center of education reforms.
Karima, sorry, just to stop you here. The screen is not changing. Are you changing the slides, or this is the slide that is on?
This is the slide that is on, and I'm going through the headlines one by one. Can you see the headlines coming through?
No, it's welcome Karima only. That's why I stopped you, so that if you want to share something, so it's you can change it.
Is it okay now?
What change?
I have changed the slide now.
No, it's still the same. Stop sharing and reshare it, I think.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yes, now we can see your presentation.
Can you see the second slide now?
Yes, yes, we can. Thank you.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
I think it's because Saturday morning blues, shall we say? Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Coming back
you can choose slideshow if you want to.
Yes, that's what I've done. Okay. So coming back to the headlines, the last one that I was reading was the need to act urgently in view of the staggering learning loss. And then we move towards my third slide. There is much to be learned from the educational disruption caused by COVID-19. COVID-19 will impact a whole generation of children and young people for many years. Many children have fallen behind and have increased levels of anxiety. Parents have juggled work and home teaching, and I'm certain that in the process, they've also developed a new appreciation and respect for the importance of schools and teachers. Teachers also have had to learn new skills and work excessive hours to adjust to changing circumstances and teaching modes. At this stage, there is no research available to indicate the extent of learning loss due to prolonged school closures. But there is well-documented research on summer learning loss, which shows achievement typically slowing or declining during the summer holidays. Now, the Center for Global Development estimates summer learning loss to be around 10 to 25% of yearly learning. Research further shows that summer breaks are more detrimental for maths than for reading, and most detrimental for maths computation and spelling. So even a relatively short period of missed school will have consequences for learning development. Now, with students away from classrooms for extended periods of 9 to 12 months, without consistent, ongoing guidance from their teachers and the structure offered by a classroom, estimating the learning loss will be one of the key priorities as we move forward. So what do we expect to see when we return to school? Substantial variance in engagement and learning levels in students, an erosion of basic academic skills such as writing and arithmetic. Teachers, because they are at the heart of learning, will face pressures to make up for the lost time and cover the curriculum in a reduced time frame. Teachers will also be required to fill unpredictable gaps in learning, help students reestablish learning behaviors, and recover learning habits. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, in a paper published on impact of COVID-19 school closures, highlights the importance of collecting accurate, valid, and reliable data to understand the extent of learning losses. They further suggest engaging in baseline assessments to understand what students know and how much they have been impacted as soon as schools reopen. A baseline assessment, as you know, is not a high-stakes exam with a focus on the score at the end of it. Rather, it focuses on students' starting point and helps to set goals and targets that will drive student motivation and future teaching and learning. We know as educationists that no single piece of data can tell the whole story of a student's progress or knowledge or performance at a certain point of time, or about the quality of teaching that they are receiving. So this paper further recommends to use baseline data along with other data points, such as attendance records, engagement with distance learning, completion of tasks, and homework to help shape your understanding of the impact of learning loss in your students. I will leave you with this thought. Data won't give you all the answers, but it can be used to ask better questions. So my message to you today, teachers, is that it's important that you take the time out to plan on how you will assess learning losses once schools reopen. It is also important that you improve your understanding of data, what it can tell you, how it can inform your teaching, and ultimately improve learning in your classrooms. So if you wish to find out more about the latest thinking, research, and tools to support schools in identifying learning losses, please visit the Cambridge Center for Evaluation and Monitoring website. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you very much for listening to me, to Nurul Huda Foundation and its dynamic leader, Rafia Mudassir, for giving me the opportunity to talk to you all. And finally, I wish that you have a productive weekend ahead. Thank you once again.